Mean by having constructivist thinking? Constructivist thinking essentially captures three components. First, there is a aspect of active participation and learning. I'd put it as active participation. You may also call that. There is a learning phase as well. These people, not just the leader themselves, but everyone else out there captures it. And trust me, I'm not staying here with cricket. You can take a team of your choice, for example, or you can even take countries which have been there, done that. You would observe these three aspects very nicely weaved into. For example, countries like Denmark or many of those Scandinavian countries which possibly have graduated to another level of, you can say, living standards and benchmarks of what I call as standards of, you can say, climate, ESG, and other aspects as well, and participation. You would typically see that. So one is active participation. Second is there is a process of knowledge building. There is a process of knowledge building, and there is a process of practical application. These are the three aspects that are there within Constructivist. Now, for instance, one can say active learning. For example, how can Indian Oil, let's say members of Indian Oil, family members of Indian Oil, collaborate to analyze refinery processes to identify efficiency improvements, leading to, let's say, possibly either cost savings or environmental impact aspects such as those. Similarly, knowledge building. So how can we have innovative solutions to address challenges specific to the oil sector, such as, let's say, optimizing crude oil blending for better fuel production or something on those lines? Practical application. For example, applying predictive maintenance techniques to prevent costly equipment breakdowns and ensuring uninterrupted operations. These are, you can say, for each one I've tried to give one example to our friends out there. Let me also give you a small example of what can a leader do to enable this as part of the culture of the organization or department or division of which they are part of it. How do we imbibe this quality? There were two kings. There used to be one king who would go ahead and ask everyone, is there any flaw in my character? And he would keep asking, and everyone will say there is hardly any flaw in that particular kingdom. Everyone say, we can't see anything. How do we point it out? And he used to be typically worried that nobody is able to point out a flaw in my character. So one day he is crossing the bridge, and on the bridge there comes another, there is this chariot of another king which is coming from the opposite side. And in those days, the one who possibly was more powerful or possibly using certain metric out there, let's say in terms of age or power or some other aspects, they would decide who possibly will back out, and the other person will get the option, will get the priority to move first. So both the chariot riders kind of have had a contest and had a discussion. No, my king is big, my king is. When they looked at it, the size of both the kings were same, age was same, everything else was same. Said, let us see the ethics of your king. So the one who would ask everyone, what is the flaw in my character? The charioteer of that, he said, look, my king is someone who does good for good and who also repays those who are evil with evil. This is the specific aspect of my king. On the other side, the other chariot rider who's there says, look, my king is definitely not like your king. Your king seems to have huge amount of flaw. My king is someone who will do good for the one who's good, who will do good for the one who's also evil, and he will also try to do good for someone at a later point in time who possibly has even hurt him. The moment this conversation was heard by the king or protagonist in this particular case, he got down. He said, "I have found a flaw in my character." He quickly moved out and allowed the other king to possibly have the right of way to take the bridge first, to cross the bridge first. What does this? Why am I trying to share this? If you see, one of the key traits of a constructivist is, if you want to be a constructivist, is always seek feedback. Always seek feedback to ensure that, the process ought to be not just consultative, but also seek feedback to ensure you improve. That's something which I'll put it. Now,